Have you guys ever wondered where oil comes from or how to extract it from the ground? I'm sure most of you know what oil is and what we can do with it, but maybe not where it comes from or everything involved. I'd like to introduce you to an oil well. In the past couple of years, I've worked in the oil fields, gaining as much knowledge as possible, so I'd like to share some of this information with you today. In the next several minutes, I'd like to inform you about how oil wells are planned, drilled, fracked, and pumped. So the first part, planning. So you need to know where you want your oil well. So mineral rights. They are the ownership rights to underground resources such as fossil fuels, and that was from Jason Fernando. How is it accessible? Do you need to build roads, or is there a road where you want it? Now, well location, you need to clear out a big enough spot for all your equipment to just have enough room for it. Edwin Drake. He was the first person to strike oil in America on August 27th, 1859 in Titusville, PA. That was from Ura Dave and Edwin Drake and the oil well drill pipe. It's just an hour away from Erie and an hour away from where I'm from, so I just thought that was interesting. So second step is drilling. So here are your drill bits. This is connected to the long string of pipe that goes down, and it rotates and air comes out of these two. The air is generated from the rig and from another piece of equipment. It's called an air pack. It just generates air and forces it down and helps drill. Now, this is called conventional drilling. Now, as it's drilling, it's slowly moving down, and all the particles are coming up around and going out that pipe. Now, this is your 10-inch hole diameter, 8-inch hole, and then your 6-inch open hole. Now, you need to cement after your 8-inch to prevent groundwater from leaking into the oil well. So you have all your casing right here. So you lift it up a little bit, pump concrete down, and then water following, and it goes up around. And once it starts coming out onto the ground, that's whenever you stop pumping, and it hardens overnight, and it doesn't let water leak into the hole. And then you drill your 6-inch open hole. So a little story. I worked for Alex Hornberg and his father, and they were the first people that they know of to drill and frack an angle well using conventional drilling and hydraulic fracking. So fracking, you got your stages, notching, and frac packer. This is an oil and gas well development process that typically involves injecting water and sand under high pressure into bedrock formation in the well. This process is intended to create new fractures in the rock as well as increase the size in existing fractures. And that's from what is hydraulic fracking. So stages, there's multiple stages, usually 10 to 20. Notching, it is just high pressure air and sand to create small pockets for each stage in fracking. Frac packer right here, it seals. Whenever you rotate the pipe, pull up, it seals, and it doesn't let the water and sand from going back up the hole, and there's gravel underneath, so the only place it can go is out, and that's whenever it fracks. Pumping. When I was 11 or 12, I started going out with my dad to pump and maintain our wells, and I've been helping him ever since. So right here's your tubing. It's usually 2-inch. So your tubing goes in, your barrel is on the bottom of the tubing. Your rods go in. The traveling valve is connected to the end of the rods. And the rods are connected to the pump jack, which goes up and down. So the standing valve is seated in the barrel. And here's just a demonstration on how the valves work. So your traveling valve moves up and down. That's connected to the rod. Whenever it pulls up, the ball seats and forces oil up. And whenever the traveling valve goes up, the standing valve lets oil in. And yeah, that's pretty much how it works. And now that I've explained all the components that factor into creating an oil well, you probably have a better understanding on how it is made and works. Planning, drilling, fracking, and pumping are the 4 main steps in creating an oil well. Remember, and this applies to almost everything, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.